why did you choose to follow your iconic role in Slumdog Millionaire with your role as Prince Zuko in The Last Airbender?
Well, I mean, I just finished Slumdog, and I was looking for something that would, it's my second project, and as any young actor would, they look for something that can sort of stretch them, and sort of allow them to learn from people that have been around for a long time in this industry. And it wasn't like I was getting tons of scripts being thrown at my feet or anything like that. But the bit of interest I did get, most of it was very stereotypical. And I didn't feel it would stretch me in any way. So this script came along, and I read it, and the character's name was Zuko. He could harness fire, and he had this sort of dark streak to him. And then obviously, most of all, what blew all my apprehensions about the script or anything away was that obviously M. Night Shyamalan's directing, and he's a big director, obviously, and he's really well known and done so many great films. And Frank Marshall was producing, who did. He produced like Indiana Jones, and Andrew Lesnie was a cinematographer, and there was just so many talented people involved that I really wanted to get on board and do the character.
Do you think the journey was all worth it then?
The journey was great. I mean, I've never done green screen before, and I'm an eager martial artist, so to be able to physically perform like I did in the film was great, to show some of my some other talent as well as just some dialogue and stuff.
You played a tortured soul in this film. You're like the tortured, banished prince of the Fire Nation. Now, was that also part of the attraction? Playing villain, a different side of your character instead of the hapless hero? Yeah,
it really was. I really wanted to, he's got a dark side to him, and he's really, there's a lot of inner turmoil going on, lots of internalization. And I really wanted to just try and put that through, and more than anything, in the cartoonies, obviously there are a lot more, in the first season, things are a lot more one-dimensional with this character, and he's just angry all the time and intimidating, and it's a hard balance between trying to be truthful to the real content but also make it real. And within that, I just found out that the character is just a young boy that just wants to be loved by his father, and is a bit more vulnerable. Instead of just being badass and scary, and there was a bit of vulnerability I tried to squeeze in wherever I could.
The actors who played Fire Nation are mostly played by Indians. M. Night Shyamalan is, of course, of Indian descent. And the Fire Nation is a traditional villain. I mean, why do you think Shyamalan decided that? Is he trying to exercise his own personal demons?
No. It's not as deep as that. I mean, once I got cast as Zuko, basically, obviously the person that plays my father, the person that plays my uncle, becomes, so they need to look like they're related to me in a sort of way. And, it made sense. They're trying to make it, echo, certain parts of real life, as much as possible. So if you think about the world today, you're going to get a majority of different looking people if you go to Africa or India, whereas if you come to, if you go to China. And so, there's 4 nations in this world, and I think everyone's represented, every culture. And if the film does go to the sequels, you're going to see a lot more, more Asian characters, and, you're talking about, there's so many different people that are going to come into the film. But it's, again, a story about not judging a book by its cover. And if you think of my character, in essence, he's not really a villain. So when people say, he was just a villain, or, he wasn't villainous enough, you just weren't really looking at the character enough, because my character in particular is not really a villain, and he has a potential to be, a hero, maybe.
I do want to see the future chapters. Congratulations again, and good luck, Mr. Dev. Thank you.
It has begun.